Trinidad and Tobago, CARICOM heads of government gathered for their 45th regular meeting and to launch a year of celebrations to mark the 50th anniversary of the regional grouping's founding. In France, the Interior Ministry confirmed over 3,000 arrests nationwide since unrest began on June 27th when a police officer killed a 17-year-old teenager. Prime Minister Narendra Modi confirmed the incorporation of Iran as a full member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization during the 23rd summit. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. On Tuesday in Trinidad and Tobago, the 45th Summit of Heads of States of the Caribbean Community moved forward with the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the creation of the group. The meeting is underway at the Chaguaramas Convention Center, the historic site of the original treaty signing. The leaders participating in the event gathered for a flag-raising ceremony to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the creation of the organization. During the event, the guests also participated in the planting of a time capsule. The day's agenda also includes a second session of the Hyatt Regency in Port of Spain, where participants will address integration, climate crisis, and economic cooperation.
Our community has demonstrated that resolve and resilience necessary to maintain the course of integration. The Caribbean community has done well. It is therefore fitting that we acknowledge and celebrate our Golden Jubilee. I have every confidence that our deliberations and decisions over the next 2 days of meeting will set us on a course for another 50 successful years.
The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Rowley, highlighted CARICOM's intention to continue to contribute to the growth despite the current situation.
We have CARICOM as the next best thing to bring about regional cooperation, and we must continue to grow the integration movement by adding new blocks to the structure, even as we strengthen what already exists. Even where there was doubt in the beginning, the experience must have shown us that we are stronger together. And even though we are an amalgam of small pieces of the globe, on the world stage, we might be small, but we are not insignificant. As CARICOM, we are at our strongest. We could be at our best. Let's claim our space in this world and just do it.
This is the second presidential summit of the Southern Common Market, Mercosur, led by Argentine President Alberto Fernandez, began on Tuesday in Argentina. Organizers assured that one of the topics of the working meeting will be the trade agreement the Mercosur is negotiating with the European Union. In his return after 13 years, Brazilian President Luis Inácio Lula da Silva will take office as head of the Southern Common Market, Mercosur. The Brazilian leader, referring to the agreement with the European Union, said on the opening day that they do not want impositions in Mercosur, assuring that it is an agreement between strategic partners, so one cannot threaten the other. Lula added that they must sit down and resolve their differences. In Brazil, a plane carrying government officials from Paraná disappeared on Monday while flying over a jungle and mountain area of the Atlantic coast. Paraná military police conduct search operations for the aircraft, which was carrying a pilot and 2 crew members, identified as Heitor Newone Jr., Felipe Furquim, and Jonas Borges Juliao. According to the authorities, the twin-engine plane took off at 7:50 local time from the city of Umuarama at the regional airport of Orlando de Carvalho and was heading to the coastal city of Paranagua. Police said the plane disappeared from radar at the height of Serra do Mar. On Monday, indigenous organizations of the Colombian Amazon demanded greater participation in the presidential summit to be held next August in Brazil. More than 100 indigenous organizations, farmers, and Afro-descendant communities, among others, are asking the representatives who will participate in the summit of the states parties to the Amazon Cooperation Treaty to allow spaces for active participation in decision-making for indigenous peoples. One of the central goals of the summit is the progressive collapse of the Amazonian ecosystems, for which these indigenous organizations consider that unilateral decisions cannot be taken without the participation of indigenous leaders of the Amazon. In Cuba, the draft bill of the Military Penal Code has been analyzed on Monday by the deputies of the Assembly of the People's Power. The exercise is the previous to its presentation in the first period of sessions of the 10th legislature of the Cuban Parliament that will take place on July 20th. The project that is available for the citizenship in the website of Parliament seeks the wide consensus of the Cuban society as a democratic exercise of collective construction. The text began to be shaped in November of 2021 and gathers regulations related to defense and the constitutional order, among other aspects, being considered a very complete preliminary draft. Esteban Lazo Hernandez, President of the National Assembly of People's Power of Cuba, assured that this bill and other issues will demand the maximum performance of Parliament.
And the commissions during those 2 days will deal with 56 different topics. That's to say, no topic of economic and social life can remain unanalyzed by the Commission. And the commissions during those 2 days will deal with 56 different topics. That's to say, no topic of economic and social life can remain unanalyzed by the Commission.
Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. All the stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the south. The government of Peru announced on Monday that it will soon declare an emergency in Moquegua, in the southeast of the country, due to the increase in the activity of the Ubinas volcano. Prime Minister Alberto Otarola informed that the situation forced it to raise on Sunday the alert level to orange due to the volcanic activity. On Monday night, the Geophysical Institute of Peru warned of the possibility of explosions in the coming days in the Ubinas volcano, which currently registers an increase of its volcanic activity and reports a constant emission of ashes and gases. Volcanologist Catherine Vargas said that according to the monitoring of the volcano, the presence of magma near the surface has been detected, which will generate possible explosions that could reach heights of more than 2 kilometers above the crater. Guatemala's donor group known as G13 has urged the Guatemalan authorities, political parties, and other actors to guarantee the will of the voters in the June 25th elections. In a statement signed by 7 countries of the group, plead with institutions, organizations, supporters, and political actors of the country to preserve the electoral will expressed in the ballot boxes in the first round. The group, upon learning of the decision of the Constitutional Court on July 1st, when it ordered to suspend the officialization of the results, has prepared a statement in which Germany, Canada, the United States, France, the United Kingdom, Sweden, and Switzerland expressed their support for democracy and transparency in the electoral process. Sweden and Switzerland expressed their support for democracy and transparency of the process. Guatemalans showed discontent with the Supreme Tribunal ruling to review the outcome of the June 25th polls following claims of irregularities. Guatemala will review the outcome of presidential elections held last month, the tribunal said Monday after judges put a halt to the release of the official results. June 25th poll saw 2 Social Democrats, Sandra Torres and Bernardo Arevalo, as the main frontrunners for the August 20th second round, which means Guatemala would have its first president from the political left. The complaint to the nation's constitutional court was brought by parties including Vamos of outgoing President Alejandro Yamatei, whose candidate Manuel Conde came third, and Valor, whose candidate was Suri Rios, daughter of a former dictator. The first round was marked by low voter turnout and a high rate of invalid ballots cast after the exclusion of 2 popular candidates, Carlos Pineda and Thelma Cabrera, of indigenous origin.
The vote of the Guatemalan people must be respected. If they say that there is democracy, it is the people who must decide, and after they have decided, respect what the people have decided. We are here because we want answers, and we are here because the youth have awakened and we want a different Guatemala.
What they want to do is to continue keeping us in misery, and Guatemala say no more. The people woke up and it is up to you to put up with it.
On Tuesday, the French Interior Ministry confirmed more than 3,000 arrests nationwide since unrest began on June 27th, when a police officer killed a 17-year-old teenager in the middle of a police checkpoint. Authorities pointed out, although the protests continue, the intensity and the violence has decreased in the last few hours. The detainees are being investigated for different acts, among them 270 attacks on police stations, damage to more than 1,000 buildings, and the burning of some 5,900 cars. According to a report from local councils and business organizations, the 7 days of riots left damages of around $1 billion. The Russian Defense Ministry said on Tuesday they have foiled an attempted terrorist attack of 5 drones in Moscow and Novaya provinces. According to the Defense Ministry report, 4 of the drones were shot down in Novaya and the 5th was destroyed by the air defense in Moscow. In the meantime, the Russian Foreign Ministry said in a statement that the attack was aimed at civilian areas, such as the Vnukovo airport, and warned that the warfare devices belong to Western supplies, while Russian authorities qualified the attack as an act of international terrorism. The Ukrainian attacks, which left no damage, coincided with Kiev's announcement of the end of the first phase of the counterattack. teleSUR English launches its own videos on demand site for you to go and revisit our interviews, top stories, and special broadcastings, and more. Just go to the top left corner on our website homepage and click on the video option to access our VOD platform. Now we're going to take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back from the South. On Tuesday, India confirmed the incorporation of Iran as a full member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the summit by stressing the importance of the multilateral organization. During the meeting, Modi recalled that the mechanism was created in 2001 with the aim of strengthening regional security and fighting terrorism. In this regard, the Indian leader congratulated President Ibrahim Raisi and the people of Iran for joining the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Shanghai Cooperation Organization now comprises 9 member states: China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Iran.
Today, I'm delighted that Iran is joining the Shanghai Cooperation Organization family as a new member. I therefore congratulate the President of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, and all the people of Iran.
On Tuesday, during his intervention at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, warned that uncontrolled debt accumulation by developed countries could cause a global economic crisis. The Russian President also referred to the growing social stratification and increase of poverty around the world, as well as the worsening of food and environmental security. Putin highlighted the role played by the bloc in the international agenda in the midst of the sharpening geopolitical contradictions. In his speech, Putin also denounced a hybrid war against his country, which he said has been turned into an anti-Russian conflict through the supply of arms to Ukraine. The president pointed out that Moscow will continue to resist Western sanctions imposed to stifle the nation's development.
Now, in fact, a hybrid war is being waged against us. Illegitimate anti-Russian sanctions are being used on unprecedented scale. I would like to emphasize that Russia is confidently resisting and will continue to resist external pressure, sanctions, and provocation. And in the current situation, our country continues to develop steadily.
A speech at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization urged the leaders of the member countries to strengthen ties and resist sanctions. He also called for generating exchanges based on local currencies and increasing solidarity in the bloc. The Asian leader also said that the historical trend of peace, development, and win-win cooperation is unstoppable. Palestinian authorities reported on Tuesday that the death toll from the Israeli military incursion into the northern occupied West Bank city of Jenin has risen to 10. Israeli soldiers continue to search for Palestinian insurgents and weapons in a West Bank refugee camp after military bulldozers razed alleyways and thousands of residents fled for safety. The mayor of Jenin, Nidal al-Obeidi, said that 4,000 Palestinians fled the camp and are in shelters or with relatives. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation strongly condemned the attacks committed by the Israeli occupation forces on the Palestinian city of Jenin and its camp on Monday. In a statement said that the targeting of health centers, destruction of vital infrastructure, and demolishing homes and mosques were heinous crimes by the Israeli occupation against the Palestinian people. On Tuesday, a court spokesman said 3 African migrants have been arrested as suspects in the stabbing death of a local man in Tunisia's coastal city of Sfax. Sfax, Tunisia's second largest city, is a departure point for many migrants hoping to reach Italy, and tensions have been rising there for months. Fauzi Masmoudi, spokesman for the Sfax prosecutor, said the victim, aged in his early 40s, and was fatally stabbed on Monday during a scuffle between local residents and migrants from sub-Saharan Africa. Mahmoud said 3 suspects were from Cameroon, according to initial information, and had been arrested. With a population of 12 million, Tunisia hosts an estimated 21,000 migrants from other parts of Africa, representing 0.2% of the population. We have come to the end of this news briefing. You can find these and many other stories on our website, telesurenglish.net. Also join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For Telesur English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.